Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be the April Dust Collectors Get Ready With Me. This is a collaboration I do every month with several other ladies. There's Verity, there's Amy, there's Kim, and there's Samantha. All of them film this video every month with me around the 23rd. I might be a day late today, but basically the whole point of this video is to pull out some makeup that's been collecting some dust and brush it off and use it for a get ready with me and remind ourselves of all the awesome makeup we have. This month's get ready with me is a collab within the collab. I am collabing with Amy. She is Curly Loves Books and Beauty, and we have agreed to use the same makeup, well, two of the same products in this video. One of them being a product I'm actually working on, which is my Morphe and Upside Down Morphe Jacqueline and Hill palette. I'm currently trying to hit pan on one shade called Buns, but the rest of the palette I'm not really working on. So those shadows are getting a little bit dusty. But also we decided to use the Tarte Clay Play palettes. She didn't specify which one, and I have both, so I figured I might be using both throughout this video. Did you finish the paperwork?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Go, you're done. Go back to your video games. These palettes have a delightful smell that reminds me of a Winnie the Pooh scratch and sniff book I had as a child, and I cannot stop thinking about that book every time I pull out these Tarte palettes, but they smell like a lot of the Tarte palettes. Delightful. This palette is volume number 1. It's a lot of, it reminds me a lot of the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. And this is volume number 2. It has a little bit more going on with a blush and a gorgeous looking highlighter. I might be skipping around between the two for this video. I'm also on the hunt for another under eye setting powder, as I'm getting dangerously close to finishing the one I'm currently working on from Kat Von D. And I thought maybe I could try these lighter shades here and see how they work and if they might be a comparable substitute, as I need to shop my stash for a new under eye setting powder very, very soon. So I haven't set my under eyes yet. I have put on foundation, all of my cream products like concealer, cream blush, cream bronzer, cream highlight, and I've put on some eye primer. So let's get into it. Where should we start? Let's start with setting the under eyes. That's typically what I would do. I like to use this Wayne Goss brush. It's a number 10. I received this in my last Beautylish Lucky Bag, which I probably got 5 years ago. And I find this to be a really nice brush for an under eye setting powder. So I'm in the volume 2 palette, and I think I'm just gonna kind of bounce my brush between these two shades right here. This one's called Solstice, and this one's called Sand. And we're gonna see how it does. I'm always a little nervous to try a new under eye setting powder because it can really make or break a look. One of you guys did remind me that I have my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder as well for my under eyes, and thank you for that reminder. I don't need to buy a new setting powder just yet. All right, those two mixed together seem to be a pretty good color. I feel like we're getting some coverage there. I feel like it's a little bit brighter. I don't feel like it looks particularly powdery or weird under my eyes. Not bad. Not bad at all. There's enough space in between the pans that I don't feel like my brush is dipping into some dark brown. I have all my windows open. It's our first warm day, finally. So you might be hearing some stuff. There's also, I think, a parade about to start in town for the kickoff of the Little League season. Neither of my kids are doing Little League this year. Okay, so far, I'm okay with it. It's a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. Okay, next. Okay, next I'm gonna jump over to a setting powder. This is my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Medium Plus. I've had this for years and I haven't used this in forever. At one point I was using this pretty much every day and the dome had really flattened out a bit. I don't know if I ever had it in a project. It might have been before I was really project panning hardcore. I don't remember the timeline, but I did have a lot of use on this. I used to keep a gallon-sized Ziploc bag in my car, and I would do my makeup on my way to work every day. So I was kind of doing a shop my stash version of, you know, get ready with me in the car. I wouldn't recommend it. I was doing it when I was stopped at trains and red lights, but I had a longer commute back then, and now I don't. And so I try to do my makeup at home. But when I was doing my makeup at the red light in cars, I had this in that bag for a long time. So I think that's how I was actually panning it without really being a project panner at the time. Everybody's always loved this powder. I want to see if I love it. I always thought it was okay. You know, growing up, I was never really a powder person. I was never really a foundation person either. All right. And next we'll do bronzer. I think I'm going to jump back into the volume 1 of the Clay Play that has the lightest of the bronzers. This one right here called Terracotta. I can't talk at all today. This one called Terracotta. The similar warm tone bronzer in this palette seems just a little bit deeper. They're pretty much the same, but I think I'm going to go with this one in volume 1 for bronzer. I feel like this is going to be very pigmented, so I'm just going to tap. Quite pigmented. I feel like I've never used either of these Tarte palettes even once. I'm gonna put a little bit of that Solstice powder. I think that's the same powder that was in Solstice and Sand. Are those the same two powders in both palettes? Wait a second. I thought I was using the other palette for a minute ago for this. Yes. Interesting. So the 3 like vertical powders in each palette are the same. I didn't realize that until just now. Solstice, Sand, and Instinct. Okay. You know what else I just noticed? All the names are the same. That is so weird. They literally just used the exact same palette. I did not realize that until just now. I never realized that until just now, you guys. All the names on all of these shadows are identical. Tarte does some shady stuff, don't they? They really do. Okay. Whatever. Next, I'm gonna go into volume 2 and I'm gonna be using this blush and this highlighter called Desert and Timber, but of course, that clearly doesn't mean anything because the other palette is called Desert and Timber also. I feel like Tarte highlighters are often over the top as well. Oh, it's a pretty color. I like the tone of this highlighter. It's not too dark for me. It's a little bit blinding though. I'm gonna be buffing all day here. So how have you guys been this month? I am just loving this warm weather today. I feel like we have had a lot of rain. I'm getting to that age where I want to talk about weather. I feel like we've been having a lot of rain, but when I look outside, I feel like it's all worth it because it is sunny, it is beautiful. It's a little bit windy, but it is beautiful. Now I'm going to go in with the blush. I'm not doing much today. Hazel's at dance class right now. I have to pick her up in about a half an hour. But other than that, I'll probably just be hanging around the house trying to get some stuff done, filming and editing and cleaning, and finishing the book. I'm finally reading my book club book. I cannot talk. I'm finally reading my book club book. It is called Fresh Water for Flowers. I'm in love. It is so good. I don't want to put it down. I just want to finish reading it. I'm about halfway through it. Really good. Really good. I'm going to go into the shade up here at the top, this kind of taupey shade called Dunes, and I'm going to try that as a brow powder. Wow, that's a really good color for my brows. The eyeshadow I've been using for my Pan That palette is a little bit warm, but this matches like perfectly. That's crazy. Look at that. That's like a perfect match. Usually I have to make sure I bring the powder throughout my entire brow so it doesn't look really warm in the front and really cool in the back, but I don't feel like I would really even need to do that. Holy cow. That is the exact same color as my brow hair. I feel like I need to trim some of these hairs down here. They're getting a little crazy. I'm gonna go in with the ABH Brow Wiz. I don't really feel like I need to, but note to self, that is my next brow powder. I don't know why I have all these like bald spots in the front of my brows. That's normal, right? Yeah, I definitely think I need to trim up a little bit right there, or pluck up. I'm gonna have to do that after I get done filming this video. And then the last step for my brows is my brow gel from ABH, and I just kind of run that through to thin out the powder, the color a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. I don't feel like my brows really need setting. I don't have the squirreliest brow hairs ever, but I feel like once I run this gel through, it all kind of blends together and looks a little bit more natural. I keep a pair of scissors in my bathroom to trim my brows when they get a little bit long, and it's gone MIA. So one of my children has run off with it, and I think I'm due for a little trim. I kind of feel like I'm taking all the product out of my brows when I'm doing this, but I think there's enough that stays in there to make it look more natural. So my son has been doing swim practice. He tried out for the swim team at our local town swim club, and he tried out about a month ago, and they said he is so close to making the team. They wanted him to do like an intensive month of practice with swim lessons and see if he could qualify for the team, and he did. He found out yesterday that he's made the team, which I'm so excited about, and he's really excited about. I'm very proud of him, but oh my gosh, it is beginning. This is like a real sport, not like going to dance class once a week or doing ninja class once a week. This is like 5 days a week of intensive training, up to 5. You don't have to go every day, but it's kind of expected that you go. What am I getting myself into, man? What am I getting myself into? I have no idea what to do with my eye look today. Where do I want to go with this? I think I want to keep it neutral-ish. I was thinking about playing around with the greens. I love these kind of greens, these kind of silvery greens, and I've never really used them this much. I also saw somebody give a swatch of these two shades in a video recently, and I thought that was gorgeous. I don't know. What should I do? Let's start with the brow bone highlight. I'm gonna go in with this second shade for my brow bone, and then I'll probably start throwing in some colors into my crease, and then I'll decide what to do with my eyelid. Should I use buns or should I avoid buns? I think I should use buns. I need to get some uses in on that sad little shade. I'm supposed to be hitting pan on it. And I'll be using this as my mirror. I'll move you guys in closer too. I always forget that. It's just been really amazing to see how much time that involves and how much I cannot get done because of that time taken away. I mean, it's all very time consuming. Momming is a full-time job. Brow bone highlight. I don't think I can imagine a day where I will not love a shimmery brow bone highlight. I know some people have been using matte brow bone highlights for years, but I can't imagine. I think I got a little bit up in the hairs there. Great. This is Butter. Butter is one of my favorite crease shades. It's that warm orangey one. I like it. I've been really tempted to shop for makeup again lately. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever not tempted to shop for makeup, but the temptation's definitely been there, and I do have Ulta points. Not many, but a few Ulta points that are going to be expiring in June, I think. Oh man, am I going overboard? Probably. I always do. But I'll probably just spend my points. I'll probably just use up all my points before they expire in June. I have like 3,000 points, but like a couple hundred of them are expiring in June. So I figured I'll just spend all my points and get something, but I don't know what I'm gonna get. But I definitely feel the urge to shop. I, of course, don't have the points in my low buy to buy anything frivolous. So I'll have to think about it very carefully and make some good, smart decisions. All right, I'm gonna take butter on my lower lash line. Butter and buns. Butter and buns. Did she plan that? I'm gonna butter my buns on my lower lash line. Just a nice simple Saturday look, no big deal. All right, I'm gonna take Obsessed on the inner part of my eyelid. Then I'm gonna take this smoky silvery green called Diva. And maybe I'll do a little bit of Enchanted in the outer corner. I will just go with the greens. I don't mind bringing this in a little because I'll overlap it with the Diva shade. The wind coming in from the windows is blowing everything over. Papers are flying around the room right now. It's chaos. All right, I'm just gonna grab that Diva shade with my fingertip. I have like 36 more days of school, 36 more work days before my school year is out, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Easter break was nice, but it wasn't long enough, and Hazel ended up getting sick. So this was supposed to be the first Easter break in 8 years without kids, because my kids would be in school. For the first 6 years, I always had a kid at home with me. And then 2 years ago, for like 5 years, I always had a kid at home. And then 2 years ago, COVID hit. And then last year, our spring breaks were at the same time. So this was like supposed to be a big deal for me. Like, I was walking around at work before we went on break telling everybody like, I'm gonna fix my whole life. I'm gonna get so much done. And I had one day where they were both at school. And then on Tuesday, my daughter was sick. On Wednesday, she had pink eye and I was taking her to the doctor. And yeah, I did not get the spring break I wanted, and I want a redo. I demand a redo of spring break. I kind of feel like this is smoky enough. I don't think I'm going to go into that dark matte green at all. I have gone too far already, I can tell, as I like to do. Okay, I'm going to throw on some setting spray, some eyeliner, and some mascara, and I will be right back for the lip combo, or whatever lip product I choose. Be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. Everything is on. I feel like there is nothing unique about this eye look anymore. I feel like there was a time where this was a really edgy and unique eye look. I don't feel like it's edgy or unique at this point, but I still like green and browns, and I still think it's a good flattering look. So yeah, there's nothing that unique about it. For lips, I went to my spring Shop My Stash shoebox and found my Revlon lipstick in HD Sand. I bought this because Emily Noel raved about it, and I thought it looked amazing on her, and I wanted it to look that amazing on me. I may have used it once at some point, but it's been a million years. This is one of those products that I feel foolish for buying it because I've had it for years now and I've never really used it, but I'm also glad I have it because they discontinued it, like they discontinue everything, and I couldn't rebuy it even if I wanted to. So this is the lip product I am going to use. It's just a super neutral lip color, and I figured that would be appropriate considering how dramatic the eyes are. I always go overboard with these get ready with me's. I feel like this isn't showing up at all. It smells amazing. Okay, that is the most neutral lipstick ever. It's way more neutral, sheer than I was imagining. It still works. It works. It works. I'm not complaining. It works. I need to put it in a project. That's what I say about everything. All right, let's do a quick recap of all of the products I used for today's Get Ready With Me. First of all, these two Clay Play palettes from Tarte might be the most boring palettes I own, but they're good. They're really good. There's something good in them, and I'm glad I had a chance to use them. I liked the blush and the bronzer and the brow powder very, very much. The highlight is a little bit more than what I'm looking for, but if I put it on first before the blush, I feel like I can make it work. And then of course, if I douse myself in setting spray, it's still pretty out there. MAC Mineralized Skin Finish is a good solid powder. From what I understand, you could use it as a foundation powder or you could use it as a setting powder. I believe I've always only used it as a setting powder, but it's a good color for me, medium plus. And yeah, worked out really well. I don't know what I can say about the Jaclyn Hill palette that I haven't already said before. I love this palette. When I see people declutter it, I'm like, oh, Why? How could you? Or when I see people complain about how confusing it is when I see all these, I don't know, anything people say about this palette kind of hurts my heart a little bit, because I think this is a great palette. And although I can agree to some extent with some of the complaints about this palette, you know, if you were given 35 eyeshadows to fill in a palette, it wouldn't be that easy. I mean, we all know Jacqueline has a type over here, so I think it's a great palette, and I like it a lot, and I like this look. I need to start using green more often. I really got out of using green a long time ago, and every time I use green, I'm like, that's nice, I should do green more often, and then I don't. And this HD liquid, this Revlon HD sand is nice. It's very nice. I have another shade in Desert, and I'd like to try that out. It's a little bit deeper. But this was a perfect nude lipstick for a very bold look on a Saturday where I'm not doing anything besides picking my daughter up from dance, which I need to do right now. So that is everything for this Dust Collectors Get Ready With Me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, don't forget to check out everybody linked down below. Amy, Verity, Sam, and Kim. They'll all be linked down below. Thanks again, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.